Yo.
Good evening. Crypto night in Canada.
Season's over.
Well, I know. Who won? Anyways, welcome everybody.
They have bad luck.
Oh, there's dad joke number one. Ryan, usually you keep track of these things. Anyways, welcome everybody. It's great to see you. We got Ryan Hemsley in the house. He's in the center square tonight. And we've got Ken, the Great White Vapor, in over there. And of course, Haas from Haas Hodls, and we've got a new panelist tonight. This is introductory to Mr. Mark Lazarick, really great friend of mine, and he is my XRP guru outside of Haas, obviously. And so we thought tonight we would have some XRP discussion because I know that it's come up a couple of times. What's happening with XRP? And I thought, well, we'll let the XRP experts chat it up. So how are you guys tonight?
Good.
Great.
Excellent.
Like I said, it's good to be here with such a stellar group of people.
I know it does feel almost first time. It almost feels like, oh my goodness. I remember the first time when we first had Haas on, I was like starstruck a little bit. Same thing with Ryan, except Ryan was only I think he only had 1,000 subscribers.
We met pretty early
only
on.
1,000. We haven't even got there yet.
I know, but
we're like this over the edge,
wasn't
looking
celebrity
like this.
status at that point in time.
I'm going full-blown education mode tonight because I don't know a single friggin' thing about XRP. So I'm the two experts down here. I'm going to be a listener tonight for the main part because, yeah.
No, this is awesome. And we've got, we actually have 23 people on tonight. So it'll be good to say hi to everybody. I saw Candace and Crow's here, and there's Gary Matthews. And I think Len's in the house.
Here, yeah.
Len's not going to be thrilled that we're going to talk about XRP, but that's
well, you
okay.
Never know.
You never know, indeed.
You never know.
And I'm trying to see who else is up here. Nelson and Jason Spooner's here. Riley, welcome everybody. Journey, this is awesome. So, and Kevin is in the house. One of the things that I want to talk about, in addition to talking about XRP, was I wanted to talk about exit strategies, because Mark keeps telling me about he's got an exit strategy. So I thought maybe we could talk about everybody's exit strategies for taking profits and all that sort of stuff. So maybe what we'll do is start with just maybe Mark can fill us in just his little bit of his journey on how he got into crypto and sort of what his story is and why does he like XRP so much?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Hello, everyone. It's great to see everybody tonight. I'm pretty much a newbie. If you're gonna put me as anything, I'm not an expert by any means, but I've jumped in the pool right in the deep end and swam right to the bottom very, very quickly. So. Enjoying the journey so far, but yeah, the reason I got into crypto was pretty much because Nancy Danter told me, you want to start looking at this crypto business. It's really good. And, the funny thing was Nancy, when she was telling me about it, she was telling me that her and Tim had invested in Bitcoin. And I said, well, I got to find out about this Bitcoin. So I started doing some research like everybody does when they first start getting into it. And it was right around tax time. And my accountant said, do you have any cryptocurrency investments? I don't deal in cryptocurrency, I said proudly. And then 1 year later, now I'm right into it, 100% involved in it. So kind of funny how things turned out. But yeah, Nancy was starting to tout Bitcoin. I think it was around, I don't know, $8,000, $9,000. Then it went to 10, then it went to 11. I kept watching it. Then it went to 12, 13. At 13, I started saying, man, I think I should buy into this thing. But I kept waiting. There just was this fear. Like I just was scared about buying it. I did some research. I like what everybody does, but it still seemed like such a obscure concept to be jumping in. And then I think my first investment, I bought one Bitcoin and I bought it at around $17,285. And that was my entrance into the market. And obviously I caught it at a really good time. I remember telling Nancy when I entered, I'm like, I'm too late. And and boy, how ironic that was to make that statement at that time, and then see Bitcoin go up to 60,000 and then diversify into some other stuff. And talking a little bit about Nancy, you kind of introduced it, like having an exit strategy. In doing the research and watching a lot of different people, they all talked about, the importance of taking profit and, having kind of set levels that you're comfortable with, and everybody's level is a little bit different. And so when Bitcoin hit 55,000, I exited, and I exited 90% of it. I left 10% in Bitcoin, and then I moved into other holdings. And now my biggest holding is XRP, and it's because I firmly believe in the project, and I think we're going to have a very lively discussion. I know you've had those Bitcoin maximalists on previous encounters, but I love Bitcoin. I love everything crypto, but I really just think XRP is going to really fly over the next few years. I'm not in it for the short term. I'm in it for the long term, but I do have an exit strategy for that as well. I'm not a guy that's going to hold it forever. I have, kind of where I want it to go. And when it gets there, then it's time to say goodbye, just like I did with my ex-wife.
Nice.
And I don't think XRP is a long hold. Now, SHIB, on the other hand.
Oh, Mark.
Whoa.
Okay. But maybe just for this crowd, to give a little bit of context before we jump into the XRP discussion, I think you have a very interesting background. And I think that part of what attracted you originally was that you do take risks because you love sports. Maybe you could give everybody a little bit of your background of how much you love sports and why you love sports.
Go ahead and tell them the team you like too if you want.
Oh, here we go. Well, I see there's some Bills fans on the call, so we better not get into too much NFL stuff. But my background is I used to be a football coach, pro football coach. I coached in the Arena League for quite a few years, and at the collegiate level and high school level. And when I got out of that, I started getting into gambling. And gambling on, of course, my favorite sport, football. And we've done pretty well over the years, not enough to make a full-time living on it, but it's been a lot of fun. And we've kind of parlayed that into now investments in crypto. And the funny thing is that in this fall, you're going to see we're starting our own type of program. It's going to be called Nickel and Dime Productions. It's with a partner of mine, Mark Dabrowski, and we thought we'd start it up because we're batting better than what they do in Vegas. So we thought, hey, if they can do it, we can do it. So we're going to be giving some advice on who you should pick every Saturday and Sunday for this upcoming football season.
Now, and the reason why you do so well is because you were a coach, you know the players and you kind of know their strengths. And when you watch games and stuff, you're watching technical stuff. And that's sort of the approach you've taken to crypto. You've looked at the technical side of things, which is why you've jumped into XRP a little bit. So maybe where I'd like to go after, like from this, is understanding from both you and Haas, what is it that you like about XRP? Like for everybody watching, what is it about that project that has intrigued you so much?
Well, since I've been doing all the talking, I'm going to turn it over to Haas, and then I'll echo on his statements.
So I think it's with XRP, a lot of people have assumptions about it, which is a shame. But at the same time, hey, at the end of the day, you can believe what you want to believe, and I believe what I research. At the core of it, XRP is basically driven, or at least the legislation part, right? Making it regulatory compliant with multiple different countries, working with banks and central bodies like the IMF. And I know nobody likes the IMF, but at the end of the day, they're who's in power. They're who controls our money supply. You can't tell me that that's not true. So the fact that Ripple is working to make XRP legislatively compliant, it has the TPS and the speeds to onboard things like the stock exchange, other services on it, rivaling TPS the size of Visa or MasterCard. It also offers a huge ability to free up liquidity from the banks having Nostro Vostro accounts just sitting in different currencies doing nothing. Having XRP and RippleNet, the ledger that works to convert XRP, having these two pieces of technology really helps that. Now, of course, when these people are using XRP, they're not buying XRP, and I understand that, and most XRP holders understand it. What people don't understand is when money is being moved through the system, that increases the value, especially when it's being moved multiple trillions of dollars a day, moving around the world. And that's what XRP is. That's why I'm invested in it, and that's why I'm so bullish on it. That doesn't mean that I'm not bullish on Bitcoin. My number 2 holding is Bitcoin. My number 1 holding happens to be XRP because I made a good early entry in it, and I do believe in the project and where Ripple is taking it. If you look at the SEC case too, because this is another piece of FUD that'll commonly come up, the SEC is more or less having a frivolous case here. They're clearly going to lose it. If you actually look into what is happening with the case, I'd recommend you looking into Jeremy Hogan. He does great videos on updates on what the case is happening right now. And then James Deaton, I think, James E. Deaton. He's also countersuing or bringing in the people into the lawsuit, into that specific lawsuit, SEC versus Ripple. Really, if you look at the specifics of the case, now I'm no lawyer, of course, but if you look at the specifics of the case, they might have a case on Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson, but they definitely don't have a case on Ripple, which just tells us that one, XRP that we currently hold and trade is not a security and will never be a security. And Ripple themselves as a company are not liable. And then on top of that, just to bring in the last piece of FUD here is the escrow. The last escrow release, 1 billion XRP, I think every release is, or 500 million, one of the two. The last escrow release was completely tacked on to the end of the escrow, which has happened numerous times before. And actually, Ripple sends out quarterly reports. So they're no longer putting XRP into OTC, over-the-counter trades. They're not putting it into corridors to add liquidity like they did with the Mexico-US corridor. But when it is deployed, it's deployed strategically for the benefit of the system. It's not just deployed to pocket Chris Larson and Brad Garlinghouse's pockets. But there's a lot of FUD, and a lot of people just say that, hey, it's a rug pull and it's a scam and they're dumping tokens on you. That's not the reality. But if you want to think that, I mean more XRP for me.
Well said.
So basically,
you guys have to figure out how we have those buttons, on some of those shows where you get points for making good points. Like,
yeah, I know. I'm working on it.
No, that's really, really good. So let me ask we have 43 people viewing. Mark gives what he likes about the projects. If you have any questions at all about XRP, these two guys probably have watched some video or have read something about it. So now would be a good time to post questions or comments about XRP in the comment section. But Mark, what is it that you like about XRP?
Well, a lot of the things that Haas said, obviously, are the same reasons why I got into the project. One thing I will tell you, and before I kind of give a little bit more insight onto XRP, the one thing I don't like about the crypto space is the tribalism. And it's like, it's really funny because it's like, if you're promoting Bitcoin, then everything else has to be bad because it's only Bitcoin. And if it's XRP, then everything else has to be bad because it's only XRP. And that's not the way I look at it at all. I think there's some really good projects out there. I don't see Bitcoin disappearing. Like, Bitcoin's not going to go into the abyss and fail. It's going to have a use case. And I'm going to talk to you about something that just before I came on the show, I was watching something. I was like, holy man, like this is exactly what I was talking about. So Bitcoin, everyone says, well, the only thing it can do is a store of value. It's a store of value. You put your money into it. It protects against inflation. It's going to go up because it's got a deflationary token, and it's going to basically replace gold. But then you talk to other crypto gurus that aren't too very happy or aren't on the Bitcoin train, and they basically say, Yeah, but that's all it can do. It can't. It doesn't have smart contracts. You can't spend it like money. Like no one's going to go to a coffee shop and spend their Bitcoin on a cup of coffee because it'll take 10, 15 minutes for the transaction to go through, and probably cost you like 5 times as much in gas fees. But today I was watching and there was a video on it, and I kind of looked at it. It was on Coinbase as well. So there's a company called CryptoSpend. And I've seen a few of these companies starting to pop up. So this company is in Australia, and they've just been approved to do a Visa debit card that you can attach to your crypto. And Bitcoin is one of them that you can attach to it. And you can go and use it to buy stuff with, just like you would with any Visa debit card, but it's attached to your crypto. And so I was like, that's kind of interesting. But what about all those negative connotations with Bitcoin? And then, I started reading more and I saw this name pop up, and the name was Navati. And Navati is a company that is associated with, guess who? Ripple. And they're running on the Ripple XRP ledger. And so now you have Bitcoin being exchanged into XRP, being exchanged into a fiat currency within seconds at very low fees, and all of a sudden Bitcoin now can be used to purchase things. Now, that's a game changer. And if more and more of those things start happening, the use case for Bitcoin improves every day. But it also means that the use case for XRP improves as well. So it's a win-win. And that's why the tribalism piece, I kind of like there's, I'm laughing because there's a big YouTuber named Bitboy. Oh, Nancy just jumped. I said Bitboy Crypto. She jumped. It was the dog. So Bitboy Crypto was a huge Bitcoin maximalist, and he's starting to buy into, XRP. You see all his videos. He's talking about XRP. XRP is going to boom. He's got secret intelligence, this, that, and the other thing. I don't think there's any secret intelligence. I think, Haas knows, like, this has all been in play for a very long time. And I think we're coming to the point where XRP is going to get regulated. Banks are going to adopt it. And we're going to move forward. And XRP is really going to make some noise the second half of the year. But this is like long-term. It's a long-term adoption project.
Yeah, no, I love it. And so Redbeard saying, when is the damn trial going to be done with? And then Natural Canadian is saying sort of the same thing. There's so much prediction of the increase of the coin when the lawsuit is over. What do you guys believe the price increase will be? Do you think it'll be back to $1? And I know this is not financial advice and we're just making probabilities here, but what do you guys think the price will be at?
So I think, all right, so there's a couple of different things there. To cover the case, because I made a comment about it in chat, but I just want to say this to help people out. There are a lot of people that are going to say that, hey, the case is ending, in September or December, and just throwing around a date. It's really hard to guess legislation or litigation, guess the litigation, and when a case is actually going to be finalized. You also got to think, could a settlement happen, right? So it's always possible. In terms of what was the other question? Can you bring that back up?
It was, what do you think the price
be? So I think, for me personally, I think at least previous all-time high for XRP is in order once the case is settled.
And what was the all-time high?
I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it was like $3 or $3.40, somewhere around that zone. I'm checking.
I think it was like 340 or 380 was the all-time high.
Yeah, 340 was the all-time high.
Depending on what exchange you were looking at.
Yeah, of course. But I think 340 is probably in the cards. Now, if you're talking about where XRP can go, it really just depends on what we're talking about. Are we talking about the speculation price? The speculation price probably upwards to the $10 range, maybe $11. I like to keep things a little bit conservative. But once XRP is in use, that's where the real money is. So I personally don't look at XRP as like, oh, I'm going to hold it for a year and everything's going to be good. It's going to be rough. It's going to be rough as hell for everyone. But I do look at XRP as, what is this going to be in 5 years or 10 years or 15 years? because I do see a dramatic amount of use, just as much use as Bitcoin does, because Bitcoin is the best store of value out there. They're increasing the capability with the Taproot system. So there's a lot more coming to the system. The Lightning Network is picking up like nothing else. And it is being adopted as legal tender by multiple different companies. Paraguay is one that are trying to bring a bill right now to make it legal tender. So there is adoption. It's just happening at a slower rate, but I think all these countries getting onto Bitcoin are going to increase. But on that same token, we do see some countries still talking about using the XRP ledger for their CBDC. So it's not only Bitcoin, and I think there's room for both players in the space, but I think they fundamentally do completely different things personally. But
yeah, 100%.
Now, Len is saying, he's posted a comment here that TikTok has banned crypto pumping, and that they'll be taking altcoins will be taking hits
I mean,
from
TikTok
the news.
is China, and China is China. No.
Yeah, I mean, like on one token here, like here's the hot take that I'm gonna have. On one token, they're a business; they can do whatever the hell they want. I can't tell TikTok what to and to not ban. Whatever their decision is their decision. But at the same time, what's harming banning cryptocurrencies? We're talking about a free market. Now, I agree that there's a lot of pump and dumps, Telegram channels, and bad TikToks that are promoting really crappy coins that do absolutely nothing. In my opinion, when you're getting in the space, you really have to do your due diligence and search and actually do some research before you just invest. But I think it's hard right now because there's a lot of people that just like don't think and just go in. But at the same time, whose responsibility is it to make sure that those people are safe? And I would argue it's themselves, but that's just my side of the argument.
Yeah. Now, Crow is saying he's heard that the Bilderberg group has something to do with XRP. Have you gentlemen heard this? And what does that have to do with the slice of potatoes?
I think there's going to be conspiracy theories with XRP. And like, there's so much out there. 589, all this like garbage about XRP is going to hit $10,000 one day, or like it's literal nonsense based in no reality, right? And it's going to be there. What ties they have to the Bilderbergs, I don't know. I mean, like at the end of the day, everything that you use right now, fiat currency is run by the Bilderbergs. So what's different with the digital XRP? Now, that being said, maybe that's why you go to Bitcoin. But I don't know of any connection. I have no idea. But at the same time, like who knows what the shadow financial structure is even doing, because they basically rule everything, right? I'd more or less even guess that they have their hands on the majority of Bitcoin anyway. So at that end, would you actually expect the Bilderbergs, for example, to give up control to say Bitcoin, or give up control to Cardano or anything else? No, absolutely not, right? So I think it would just be a conspiracy theory. We have no evidence of that, but I guess anything is possible.
Yeah. And just to echo on that statement, like I think this is one of the big problems out there, is that a lot of Bitcoin maximalists is the idea of that it's going to be this decentralized, no government control. Everything's just going to flow into Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's going to take over the world. There's a thing in Vegas: the house always wins. The house always wins, and I think that's exactly what's going to turn out happening here. Getting a lot of static.
I know, we were getting some feedback. I don't know who it was from. Yeah, but you're right.
Every time I'm not talking, so I'm not sure.
No, but I think you're right, Mark, that the house always wins. So you got to kind of figure out how that works and where you fit in with that.
Yeah. We talk a lot about staking and farming. Have either of you explored that possibility with XRP, or are you just holding it in coin, and are you holding it in cold wallets?
I hold mine in a couple of different areas. I have some on a cold wallet. I mean, as just in case kind of thing. It's same with Bitcoin and a few other tokens that I keep on various cold wallets. It's safe. Not your keys, not your crypto. I still believe in that. But that being said, I still have some earning like on Celsius, Nexo, Bitrue. I'm constantly doing the Bitrue lockups. I'm not doing anything like providing liquidity in any way, but that will all happen once the Flare Dex is out. I'm sure I'm going to be using my XRP as liquidity there, but only a small fraction of it. More or less, my XRP is just going to sit and get a little bit of interest here and there and just not be touched. So,
what's the going rate that you're getting, if you don't mind me asking?
yeah,
with
I think
XRP right now?
If you're looking at Bitrue, I can get 7% on the lockup. So I have to put 1-to-1 of value of Bitrue, the Bitrue token and XRP. So I'll get 7% there. I'll get 2.5% on Celsius. I trust Celsius the most, so I actually have a decent amount of XRP on Celsius. And then I have some on Nexo, a lesser amount, but still a pretty large amount on Nexo. And then after that, it's just on my ledger. There's a good chunk of XRP sitting there. But Nexo, I think, provides 5%, I think, is starting. And then if you buy the Nexo token, it goes up from there. I think a total of 8% on Nexo. So I'd probably say in terms of APYs, in Nexo is, or yeah, interest, Nexo is number one, but I probably trust Bitrue and Celsius way more. But that's just me. I don't want to crap on any service.
Right.
No. Mark, where do you have yours?
So my XRP is actually all in a cold wallet. I have, like I said, certain levels that I want to hit with it. Once we hit those levels, I'm gonna exit as we go up the chain. But right now I'm staked in Cardano, and I think, as part of my exit strategy, I have a bunch of projects that once things, once the true bear market shows up and things drop, I'll be buying in and staking in some specific project.
Interesting. So Len's asking, wasn't some 100 billion of XRP pre-mined?
Yeah, so the whole XRP circulating supply was pre-mined, but the majority of it was locked up into an escrow and released. And that's where everyone's like, oh, well, Ripple prints, a billion every month or whatever the rate is. But no, they're not printing anything. It's already been pre-mined and put into this escrow that's on a continuous lockup that they constantly either take it, put it in corridors, or put it back onto the end of the lockup.
Yeah. Interesting. Now, Redbeard's asking, he said, doesn't George Soros have his greedy fingers in the XRP pie? So does anybody have any comments about that?
Same thing that I would say about conspiracy theories. I don't entertain them. I have no evidence of that. So, I mean, it is what it is. Yeah.
So Ken, you're being pretty quiet. I know you like XRP. I know you do. So how about you? What do you like about XRP?
I don't own any XRP.
What?
Nope.
That surprises me.
Do you own any Theta?
Yeah, I own some Theta.
What's going on with the Theta?
That's it.
Hey?
You own 400
413 XRP. That's it.
Oh, good. Ryan.
Wait, hold on. You got to buy 7 more. What? I will send you 7 right now. Honest to God, what's your wallet?
I'm looking at it on the exchange right now.
I need to be the one to send you 7 extra.
61 cents.
Dude, it's like blowing my mind. I'm looking, and the amount of Doge I have, I'm like 32 away from 2,000. I'm just sitting here like, Anyway, yeah, no, I got about 413 XRP. It's just going to sit here forever as far as I'm concerned.
You need 420. Why did you stop at 413?
Exactly. I'll send you 7, man.
I don't know. I divided up all the Doge profits by and then divided it all up even or not even.
I got to be the one to gift you 7 XRP to bring you to that 420. I have to, man.
It's like having that crooked picture on the wall, isn't it, Haas?
No, my OCD is going crazy. You're so close to 420. We need to make that happen.
Oh man. Okay, well, since that just was so funny. Cyberhawk says he's making a comment. So why are we Echoing. Anyways, so Cyberhawk is saying he or she believes it's NFT season now. How do you guys feel about this? Do you feel like we've made a shift? Has anybody heard anything about this?
There's a lot coming out
I keep hearing more and more about it, and I don't even look for it.
every day coming out about NFTs on this chain and on that chain. And Theta's got them coming out. Vivi's got Ghostbusters version 1 or something being released. And
Once the NFL figures out how to tie NFTs to a virtual NFL fantasy pool, then we're talking about something that's truly like mind-blowing, especially if your team can be there with you and virtual events on top of being in an integrated pool, NFTs and verified players and results. Oh my gosh. I think the NFL that could be crazy. But
and they're definitely going to do it. And I think even now, like a couple weeks ago, about a week ago, the NCAA passed the name, image, and likeness for the NCAA athletes. So you already have NCAA athletes starting these NFTs. And it was so funny to be driving back from the cottage and listening to ESPN radio and them going, yeah, there's this thing called NFT and it's part of a cryptocurrency. And this player is doing his own NFT now. And they just no knowledge about it, but you're going to see it come full mainstream. I think it's going to be a really big year for NFTs.
If you could interact in gaming with NFTs or purchased NFTs or earned NFT, whatever it be, whatever. I know that I'm not a video gamer, but there's 2 or 3 games that like I love these games. For instance, Madden, Battlefield, and then there's one other sometimes I play. If there were certain features where I had to buy an NFT, but I got this vehicle or that whatever, like I'm coming around more to when I was totally taking a dump all over Neil and Tim on like about NFTs probably 2 months ago. I'm more coming around to it with the NFL stuff and baseball and then video games. But
yeah,
I don't know.
So I have to tell you, Verina's comment, she's like VV, and I'm like, yes, because and I know Mark's still holding his Ecomi tokens as well.
Like, it's funny with Omi and Vivi, like, you know, I look at, like, again, do your own research, but when I start seeing what Vivi's doing with their app and the Omi token is behind it, you know, this is not going to be something that I'm holding for a month, 5 months, 6 months, a year. I'm looking at this as a long-term hold for 3 to 5 years. But I think in 3 to 5 years from now, you're going to be looking at Omi at a much different price. And I'm picking it up at less than a penny. And I've been, you know, dollar cost averaging in constantly, not you know, FOMOing it and buying, you know, green candles as they're going through the ceiling. But, you know, it dropped down right back down to 0.2 of a penny. And I bought a bunch and continue to buy. And I think my average dollar cost average for Omi is about 0.32 cents right now, like 0.032 of a penny.
I know, it's really exciting. And you know, remember Ryan, when I got all excited about that Raw Paul video and I asked everybody to watch it and let's discuss it and all that stuff, he really believes that these early stages of these NFTs are really proof of work. Proof of concept is what he's called it, proof of concept. Because he basically said that we are going to see things in this NFT space that we can't even possibly understand or fathom right now. They're playing around with things that are visible to get us excited, such as the Marvel, the NFL stuff, all of those like characters in games and things like that. But it's like, can you imagine artwork and real estate? I know there's a couple people that have said real estate. What if our own passports are becoming NFT? Like they're talking like our health cards, all that sort of stuff becomes a non-fungible token. What if even when you buy a concert ticket, the worst thing that happens now with these scalpers with concert tickets is that you could pay top dollar for a scalped ticket and it ends up being a fake and you get to the door. But what if you could take your phone and swipe it and against a ticket and go, yeah, this is legit. This is a legit ticket. And every single time that ticket got resold, because it's a non-fungible token, because it's unique, that a bit of that money, when the money changes hands, goes back to the originator of it. Because if you organize concerts, if you were a concert manager or whatever, you get the sale on the first go round. That's it. But you don't get to pick up on any of the others. But with the non-fungible token, every time it changes hands, it could be programmed in there that they could make some money. This thing has got so much possibility. We're so darn early in this space, and we're looking at it like, oh yeah, it's exciting because it's collectibles. I think it's going to be 10 times bigger than anything we can possibly think.
This might sound simple-minded just because I'm solely focused on this regarding NFTs. I'm waiting for NFTs to meet gambling in like a very serious way with sports. And to me, then that's when I'm beyond full tilt. But to me, the sports angle with it, and then gambling's loosening up here in Canada. We don't even have to worry about that, though. In the States, you've got wide range of availability. That, to me, is where it's going. Like, I'm more excited for the gambling aspect of it.
What about taking NFTs and putting them in a game that's 3D ran on the Theta network?
That would be freaking insane. But I know that, I mean,
Here's
like,
one,
I'm
like-
sorry.
It's run on the Theta network, and you make sheep coins. And you make sheep coins out of it.
That's the major thing that's going on with Theta right now is gaming.
Yeah.
Their network is hugely used for gaming right now. So you take your NFTs and get them into some type of a virtual reality game, and you run it on the Theta network so you don't drop any frames, which makes the reality of it very real. There you go.
Yeah.
Here's one big thing. Ready Player One, the book and the movie, that's going to be a real thing one day. When we integrate cryptocurrencies and NFTs into an online MMO that took the scale of, say, World of Warcraft, for example, this game that lasted decades. Everyone has heard about it. I guarantee you're hearing this now, and you either have played it or you know somebody that did play it. It would take a game to be that massive to really like make something that is serious. And if you actually think about gaming for a second, like RuneScape, for example, I love bringing RuneScape up as a cryptocurrency because the RS Gold is actually almost kind of the real like first digital currency in some weird way, right? Because people actually have real world value for this coin. And it's just in a video game. When this actually happens with a hard asset in a video game, whoever makes that game is going to be a millionaire. And if you think about NFTs, I like to quote Michael Saylor here, and I know he's only applying this to Bitcoin. So please just keep that in mind. But I think he hits the nail on the head for all of NFTs as well, is when you're buying an NFT or Bitcoin, you're buying digital property. You're actually buying the ownership of that asset, whatever it is, whether it be a piece of physical something or a piece of digital something, whatever it is, you own it and you can prove that you own it. And a lot of people just care about that aspect. Collectors don't care that they have a printout, right? Or that you can print out, the same picture that I have, or you save the same picture that I have on your computer. I don't care as a collector. I care that I have the authenticity tag. I have the thing saying that I own it, not you. That's what collectors actually care about. And that's why NFTs are going to be huge.
Yeah, I think you're going to get to the point, and to jump on Ryan's whole thing with sports, and the NFL. I thought it could have happened this year, Ryan. I thought it was almost going to happen this year, but I guarantee you next year at the NFL draft, I could see that every draft pick will have an NFT, and you'll be able to buy it, and you'll be able to superimpose yourself as a fan right beside the draft pick getting his jersey, and as if you're at the draft on stage and having that NFT experience.
That'll be cool to see how draft pick NFTs might hold value in a few years too.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Well, and Mark comes at it with a very interesting angle because he was part of that world, and he knows how much these guys they make their side money on what the items that they sell. Am I?
Well, in most arenas they do. I mean, isn't there some that are prohibited from, like college? It happens in, I don't know. I guess I'm watching too many movies.
Well, so this is the big thing right now. So up until this year, collegiate athletes were strongly prohibited from taking money, taking different types of revenue outside of their scholarship revenue. They couldn't be supported. But now that they've passed the name, image, and likeness rules for the NCAA, these scholarship athletes are going to be able to get money based on their name, image, and likeness. A prime example: my favorite team, Notre Dame, favorite college team is the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. For those of you who watch football, Notre Dame has been known not to have names on the back of their jerseys. So they just have numbers, and that's the way it's always been. It's been history. But they're really talking about starting the regular season with names on the back of their jerseys, all because of name, image, and likeness, so that the players can use that to sell their name, image, and likeness in an NFT or whatever they choose to do.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So yeah, just these little tiny bits.
That's it. I'm putting the name on the back of my car.
I want that banter NFT. Let's go.
Oh my God. It'd be some crazy dad joke. You know what I love most about this conversation is I love brainstorming and collaborating on innovative ideas and the possibilities of the future. And I remember when I had a business partner about 15 years ago, and her name was Kate, and she and I thought we were really avant-garde with what we were thinking about. And I remember these two guys approached us about putting our online product into the cell phone. And I remember thinking, who the hell is going to do this? Like, it was a lot of work to do it. We had this funny little image of a Nokia phone that we were trying to line our stuff up in this Nokia phone. It was insane what we had to do. But what I loved about those guys when I first met them that were helping us with this, the very first app, like there was no such thing as an app. What I loved about this was that there's no in technology. Nothing's no. If you have enough money, you can create anything. And I think talking about future and talking about innovation and talking about where all this stuff goes, this is just a group of Canadians on a Wednesday night talking about possibilities. Can you imagine you get people with resources and the ability to make things happen? Can you imagine the conversations happening at a much greater scale? It's actually one of the most exciting things to be part of, to think about all of this.
It's innovative technology. Like, if you think about it, like, this is the internet being born. Like, it's on the same scale, maybe even higher. Like, the possibilities realistically with blockchain technology are endless, and it's not going away. This is here to stay, and it's going to fundamentally change everyone's lives and how future generations are going to live after us. This is dramatically going to change everything.
So if we change sales for a minute, the announcement today was it looks like GBTC has now got SEC approval for ETFs in the States, and Haas, pardon me, I take that back. Len sent me something last night saying that it appears that BlockFi had some interest in GBTC by having X amount of coins in their arsenal. And now that they're all coming to be unlocked, they're not as much as they were 5-6 months ago. And somebody going to lose some money.
Yep. This Sunday.
Don't know what you guys know about that, but if you could kind of carry that, if you know something.
I read that they lost 100 million in the difference.
Yeah.
Who? BlockFi?
BlockFi. Yeah.
I'd hope that BlockFi, though, like, sure, it came off Flock, but like his selling. Okay. Fair word of advice for everyone listening: selling below the 50 week has always proven to be a bad idea and a good way to lose money. So by all means, you can sell now. We're coming up to the 50 week, and we're going to maybe go through it. Who knows? But if you sell, I mean, like, you kind of deserve to lose that money. So hopefully BlockFi is smart enough to just hold. But hey, it is what it is, I guess.
Yep.
I don't know. That doesn't seem like that much money, though. Really, I mean, I saw a little news blurb. It's $100 million. I didn't really. How much
For
did
someone like them, it's not.
Yeah, like how much free Bitcoin did they give away and like bat an eye at that one day? Like, I don't think they're really worrying about it. They just launched their credit card. They're probably going to be making money out of. I doubt that they. I doubt this will affect anybody, to be honest.
Yeah, most businesses in cryptocurrency right now are generally profitable. It's really easy to turn a profit in this industry right now.
They probably just said something about it so that there's no rumors.
Right.
Then if it's a rumor, then it makes the company look bad, right? If the company brings it out and presents it, then they don't look as bad.
That's one thing I like about BlockFi. As much as people are here for different rates, whatever. I do like that. I feel like they are as transparent as I would ever expect them to possibly be with me. Every time there's something, good, bad, or the other, I mean, there's no delayed response on an I don't get an email like one day before rate decrease, for instance. Like they let you know. I don't know. That's one thing I do like about BlockFi, to be honest.
Yeah.
I feel safe with BlockFi. Really safe. Like just how he was saying, Haas was saying he prefers Celsius over those other two that he was talking about. I don't know. I like BlockFi.
I mean, that being said, and BlockFi is great, and I love BlockFi for things like Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, but BlockFi doesn't have the token selection, right? And Celsius, in my opinion, is like on the same level of caliber. There's, in my opinion, if like you have Bitcoin and you want to put one or the other, put half and half. In my opinion, I like both services. They're both really good outfits. So,
well, Celsius right now, I'm not in I'm still waiting on my ID, so I'm really lost on this whole Celsius or DeFi thing until I get that going. But I think Celsius is offering 6.2% on Bitcoin, and then BlockFi's. I just got an email about that, and then BlockFi's nowhere near. So I think if I actually did ever buy Bitcoin, I'd probably just put it in Celsius. But
for now, while they get the interest, why not?
Yeah, but what he said about Litecoin and Ethereum, the Litecoin APY on BlockFi is 5.5. I'm pretty happy with it. And then I'm not going in stablecoin or whatever right now. Oh, I have a question for Haas and everyone else who might know anything about it. So I'm not really a fan of stablecoin backed by dollar, but what about that token DAI? I don't know if I like DAI or DAI. I don't know how.
You're right. DAI. There's DAI, and I believe RSR kind of does the same thing, where it's backed by a vault of assets. If I remember, if
isn't it backed by other crypto assets?
I don't know if it's just crypto assets.
Oh, okay.
I feel like it might be a variety of different assets, but I'm not. Don't quote me at all.
I was
on
just curious. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know that's what RSR is. Their RSV, their stablecoin, but it's essentially the same thing as the DAI, and the DAI is more widely used in DeFi and everything else. So I think I would just default to using the DAI because it's more adopted. But yeah, it's not necessarily backed to the dollar, but it's trying to maintain a dollar, right? So yeah.
I was curious why. Well, yeah, because all I've been hearing about is this all over the place, and then BlockFi adds it like 2 weeks ago. So I was curious. All this talk about stablecoin.
Maybe they're moving away from Tether.
The Middle East or something. Is that
what it could be? The thing is,
I can't remember. Go on.
Yeah, the thing is, when you're looking at something, and like Ryan brings up a really good point, something that like I really try to drive home on my channel, and I want to make like a big discussion about this big video, because the United States dollar, the days are numbered, right? Tether is not gonna last if the United States dollar goes down. If we go into a 1930 situation or even worse, which really likely is going to happen. It's almost a sure thing at this point. A lot of people say that I'm too bearish on the U.S. dollar, but I honestly don't think so. Maybe I am wrong. Maybe I'm Chicken Little. I think a lot of us that are holding cryptocurrencies are going to be made rich off of the backs of millions of people that are going to lose everything. And that, in my opinion, makes me a little sick. But it's the fallacy of fiat currency in the United States dollar. I don't think it's going to last. So going with a tokenized dollar that's backed by actual assets. So if the USD goes down, that's a little bit safer to me. So I'm personally not trusting Jerome Powell printing up tons and tons of different money. It's just it can't continue this way.
Yeah, it's maintained and regulated by MakerDAO. a centralized autonomous organization.
I just posted
And the
a link.
governance token MKR or something.
Yeah. So I wanted to jump back into something Crow asked. I had his comments up there. While I'm trying to find it, Greg Winhall is saying, isn't USDC backed 1-to-1 to the Dahlier?
Yep. Dollar?
Oh,
Anything can be backed 1-to-1 depending on your accounting practices. So
Right. I think, Ryan, in a previous show, you were talking about how, 1-to-1 really isn't 1-to-1. Like, there's a lot of different factors that go into it.
Like how much? You don't even have to be in crypto in order to realize how you can leverage debt into a positive situation. It doesn't mean that you have any money, like at the end of the day, right? So that's not even a crypto thing. But yeah, it's a hard 1-to-1, and then they're 1-to-1. I'm freaked out with it.
yeah. And Riley Mack says the DAL is backed by collateral on Maker. So that's good to know. I wanted to get into this because, it wouldn't be Crypto Night in Canada if we didn't talk a little bit about inflation, because, it's my favorite topic that Ryan doesn't like me to talk about. But it's been creeping in more and more and more over the months since and
I'm glad that you brought that up, because I was talking to Tim just before this about why, because I've been sure all of you guys, we all got the inflation numbers, highest rate of growth month over month in 13 years, yada, yada, yada. It's like 5-point-something%. Okay, yes, inflation's high as hell. But break down what caused the inflation, and then you start to realize that that's a little bit of fluff right off the bat. Used car market in the States represented such a massive chunk that if you just reduce the used car market right off the bat, we'd be really normalized right now. So that is not an issue that, to me, listen, if it was a real inflation issue, in my opinion, our hedge against inflation would have actually moved and done something and maybe peaked up from the grave. Nothing happened because it was so obvious what it was. Airlines contributed to it. I mean, hotels contributed to it. This is all reopening kind of stuff that's going on. I don't know. But at least in the States, it was a lot of the 5.2 or 3 was real fluff. Like, honestly, real fluff. And I've been seeing people on, because the day that it came out and CPI came out, I'm sitting here and I'm watching YouTube. All the market opens, Yahoo, whatever, right? I'm just watching it. It's devastated. And part of me is like, oh, God, thank God. Everything's going to go up on the crypto side today, I'm thinking. And then I'm watching all these YouTubers and they're like, okay. And at first, not really understanding it. I still don't really understand it. But I think it's because it was fluff. Like, it wasn't. That didn't seem long-term to me. Like, the used car market won't be like that, and hotels and travel won't be propped up like that. So to me, it was like an entirely fluff thing. 5.4 Panda. Thank you so much. But yeah, I wasn't, anyway. That's
okay.
I fundamentally disagree, but
I know. Okay. So let's just.
But then you guys are giving way too much credit to travel and used cars after opening up. That's literally insane. Like, go into it. Like, it's insane.
Okay, so
I want to add to Ryan's thing before you say it, because I kind of, I've been a big proponent that we are going into a very big inflationary market, and that that's where we're headed, and it's going to go out of control, and we need Bitcoin as a hedge against inflation. I totally bought into that. But Kathy Wood from ARK Investments, who's she's got a pretty good gauge as to what's happening. She's actually predicting now a deflationary
crash.
Yeah. So, okay, I will say two things before we dive right into this. Is I would say that I watched Cambridge House.
Jay
Martin had a guy on the other day that was also talking about we're going to go from where we're at to a deflationary situation. He was going on about that, but it's going to take a little bit before that happens. And the reality is, and Mark, you will have to agree with me on this one. The prices we are seeing come across for raw food it's the supply chain challenges, the raw food costings, the inability to get things. It's just becoming exponentially worse and worse, and it's not going to stop anytime soon.
Yeah, no, I would agree with you on that. But I do think, to Ryan's point, and to, like I said, do your own research. Kathy Woodark Investments, she's got a pretty good finger on the pulse. I really think that we're going to see this narrative of inflation, and there will be inflation. We'll be at 5.4 or whatever that percent was. We might go up to 6-7%. But I think you're going to get to that point where it's going to turn the exact opposite way. And much like the crypto market takes a nosedive, it's going to take. We're going to see a massive crash, and it's going to go into a complete deflationary market. And I think that's coming. I really do. After listening to a couple of her spots on YouTube that were put on YouTube, reading a few things that she wrote. I think there's a lot of legitimacy to it. I don't know if we're going to go into this skyrocketing inflation forever and like Bitcoin's going to be at 300, 400,000 by the end of the year. I'm not sure that's going to happen. Now, do I think Bitcoin's going to rise from where it is now? 100%. I think that we're going to have Bitcoin moving up. I could see Bitcoin anywhere from, 80 to 115, 120,000 by the end of the year, possibly before the bear market really begins. And with XRP, I really think XRP is going to hover somewhere between $10 and $15 by the end of the year. But I don't see those numbers last. I think there will be that correction.
Okay, so I'll shut up for a minute. And Ken, Ryan, Hans,
I
you want to weigh in on this?
Total question, just an out there question. Maybe everyone Len's back. Maybe everyone in the audience can give their take on this, and then the people watching too. But okay, back. So this is just a random idea, not something I'm seriously thinking or pondering or whatever. But it did cross my mind at one point as a fleeting thought. So when this inflation news did come out, and then we had, an hour of nothing, 2 hours, 6 hours a day of nothing, and then a slight decrease, and actually just no response on the crypto side of things. What I was wondering is, obviously, we're invested, whether it be Bitcoin, XRP, ETH, DOT, whatever or SHIB, whatever your horse in the race is, we're invested in crypto. We believe in the space. But what I'm wondering is, like, little events like this, does that further kind of take away from Bitcoin being, for instance, like a true store of value, in that maybe it's just the true believers kind of left after this shakeout? I don't know. That's something I was thinking. Is it not moving because there's too many damn hodlers, really? Like, is it just us left? I don't know. That's what I was wondering. I mean, I go on Twitter 24/7. It's 24/7 bearish, yada, yada, yada. And I'm just like, oh my God. So it makes me wonder, is it like, are the only ones left the ones like us, and therefore it's not really moving?
I just want to bring up something, sorry, really, really, really quick. So just a year ago, Bitcoin was sitting at $9,600. I just want to put that in scope for everyone.
That's a good question, Ryan, because you got to think. Look how far Bitcoin fell and the retailers were investing in it.
And now it's just sideways, and not just sideways, but like it's like a plateau. Like,
I know, but Ryan, I think there's some things. I think there's some fundamental things that happened that should never have happened, and that's why it spiked so high and then has now come back and is normalized. With all the casinos closed down and nowhere for people that would gamble to go, they were gambling in the stock market, and they were gambling on
but they're gone,
on crypto. They're gone now. So this is why you're seeing sideways action happening.
But that's the other side of it. I was thinking more on the side that I don't think big time whale investors truly believe in a long-term inflation. That's what I was thinking. So there wouldn't be any massive movements. But the other side of me was literally just what you just said. Like, I think the rest of them might be gone because, we've just been plateaued. And you would think that would have been the best news for anybody in crypto ever, waking up that morning. I woke up waiting for it. I got the news. I'm like, oh my gosh, that is wicked. Not that, I mean, just for what I was thinking for my investment, not for inflation, whatever. And nothing, in fact, a drop. And it's so, I'm thinking two things. Either inflation's it is transitory, and I'm more on Mark's side of things on this one. So, or there really just isn't any more of these gamblers left. I don't know. That's my two. I'm juggling these two right now, trying to figure out what's going on.
There's a lot of people that got burned, right? So
a lot of people got burned. That's the thing.
A lot, yeah. And these are a lot of millennials that got burned too. So,
but at the end of the day, at the end of the day, I think there's a convergence of things happening right now that people aren't paying as much attention to these announcements as they were 4 months ago when everybody was locked down. Like now that everything is opened up and people are back going to the movies and they're back seeing their friends and they're back playing volleyball at night out and about, they've kind of gone, oh, that was the thing I did while I was in the pandemic, and they're not really paying attention to it as much. I will say that when you live, eat, breathe, and sleep, the kind of stuff that Mark and I've been doing every day, you can't help but see there's massive problems in the food industry. And it's possible it's a blip, but I think it's going to be much longer than people really think.
Yeah. And I think, Nance, I wouldn't dispute the fact that, yes, we're in an inflationary period right now, and there's definitely problems, especially you can see it in every supply chain that we see on a daily basis, especially with food. But I think that, I just don't know if it's going to continue to go up and away like everybody thinks it is. I think there could be some thought process that, we are going to enter a deflationary period. And, and that's okay because, if we do, it'll present other opportunities.
And you got to remember with food too, right? We consume too much and we waste too much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Think of all that meat that you get, right?
Yeah,
like it takes a lot to raise a cow.
Food. Yeah.
Well, at the end of the day, deflation, we as a society, I love that interview that Anthony Pompliano did with Jeff, and I forget his last name. It was started with an H. He did it about 6 weeks ago, and he's written a book called The Price of Our Future, I think, or The Price of the Future. And his podcast was so good. I had to listen to it 3 times. Like, it was really, really good. And one of the things that he said was, as a society with what technology has done for us, we should be in a deflationary. It should have made our life much easier. Like, you think about what this little device alone can do for us, like seriously do for us, that we didn't have 20 years ago. We didn't have this. We used to have to carry around in my purse. I always had my camera in case I wanted to take a picture of the kids. Well, that's ridiculous. I don't know any time I've put a camera in my purse recently because I got my cell phone. Not only does this communicate, but it's also my television and it's my gaming station. And so he talks about all of the things that have happened should have, in theory, meant that all of us would have been down to a 15-hour work week or 15-hour work week. What are we at? 60 hours now? He said it should have cut us all in half. And he goes, because all of the things that have been invented should have made life easier for us. And it's deflationary in nature. And he goes, but that's not what's happening. It's being forced the other direction, that the governments are forcing inflation to happen because that's the only way that they can afford the debt.
Yeah, I believe in a lot of ways that it's slavery by consumerism, right? I think a lot of people, and I've mentioned this before, and I've talked about reducing consumption overall, but I think a lot of people would benefit from like a more minimalist idea and ideology. And yeah, like technology has dramatically changed our lives. Like I just did a road trip across Canada. Arguably the most important equipment that I had wasn't my food, wasn't my car, it wasn't any of that. It was all my cell phone. My cell phone was everything. It was the lifeline. When I got a flat tire, I had my cell phone to let people know my location. I had my cell phone to look up where my next stop was. Everything was directed by my cell phone. And that's powerful technology right there. So yeah, you got a good point.
Yeah, so that was Candace. I'm just going to put this up again. Candace, the author was Jeff Booth. And if you haven't heard that, it was really well worth listening to because it puts this whole conversation about inflation versus deflation into perspective. But Anthony Pompliano has also started a new podcast with his brothers, and it's called The Best Business Broadcast. It's actually kind of good. And they spent a good hour talking about inflation today on their podcast today. I watched it and I enjoyed it. So I don't know. It is not one of the number one reasons why I'm bullish on Bitcoin. I will tell you that much.
But where's your buy-in point then?
I just keep buying it because at this point in time,
okay, so you're back to DCAing into it?
Well, we haven't recently because we haven't had any spare cash, but I'm working on that.
Oh, okay. So buy price doesn't matter though?
No.
Oh, okay.
Not when you DCA.
Yeah, and also like when you look at where Bitcoin is, and I don't know why, because everyone when Bitcoin was 63K, everyone's like buy Bitcoin right now, buy it now. But when it's at the 50-week moving average, when it's literally down to the lowest that it could possibly, and it could go lower, it could go sub 30K, absolutely. But when it's down to this price, you will kick yourself for not buying Bitcoin at 30K. Stack sats, that's the best thing that you can do for your financial future. I mean, you don't have to, by all means. I stack sats all the time. I mean, I didn't buy at 63K, but everyone else did. I saw people sell their homes and buy Bitcoin at 63K, but nobody wants to buy at 30K. And I don't understand it. I cannot comprehend that thinking. It's buy low, sell high, but everyone wants to do the opposite, apparently.
They got burned, man. A lot of people did, dude.
If you hold for 5 years, you're not going to be burned. If you sell and capitulate, that's on you. In my
opinion. And too many people are talking. Not too many. You can never talk about it too much. But the amount of leverage on the crypto market's already proving to be an issue for Binance. Yada yada yada. All these people, if they even 10 grand leveraged out, I mean, people just. They were
in it for a quick buck, and
they were being stupid. They have no one else to blame but themselves, which is a tough reality. And at the end of the day, the people who traded smart took all their money because that's how it works. So they lost, and some won, but a lot of people lost. That's
and I think this goes into what your investment position is. And if you're getting into this space and you want to make a quick buck and you're going to roll the dice on Dogecoin and hope that it goes to $2. And I didn't say that for you, Ryan. I put a little bit on Dogecoin too and made a little bit of money there.
I'm guilty too, man. Doge and Safe Moon.
We were all guilty. You know what? It was like a secret. We were all trying to hide it. We're not trying to tell people.
Exactly. It was like an embarrassing little thing that,
we all met in an alley, some cutie Shiba dog, and we're like, God, give us some coins.
We all have that closet in our house that we don't want people to open, right? So.
Exactly. But from my point of view, and I think that most everybody that's on this channel right now is doing the same thing. I'm buying into projects that I believe in, and do your research, buy into something that you believe in, and if you believe in it, you're gonna set your targets as to what they're gonna be. Whatever those targets are for you, set them and set when you're gonna start exiting out at those numbers, and wait. And eventually, those numbers are gonna come, and you just have to be diligent and start exiting out. And that's my whole plan. I'm not married to XRP. I love the project. I'm not married to it. But
you're dating it for a while.
I'm definitely dating it. Yeah, we're definitely.
It's one of the plates that you're spinning, though, right? You're definitely not only dating one cryptocurrency here. I mean, that might be the main one, but
Yeah, no. We definitely that's my main squeeze, but I've got a few others.
An open relationship.
It's an open relationship. That's right.
Absolutely.
But are you still into Cardano?
Still in Cardano. I really believe in that project too. I like Ether. I like Bitcoin. From an NFT perspective, I really like Omi and Vivi. I really like what they're building. And I've been dollar cost averaging into that continuously. And it's a long-term hold for me. I think, 5, 6, 7 years from now, we'll look at Vivi and we'll say, wow, can you believe that people actually bought it below a penny at 1.56 years ago? And now it's like $4 or $3 or whatever it
Make
is.
a lot of millionaires.
That's something I would buy and hold on a ledger for sure. I got a question. Oh, shoot. Damn. Okay. I don't have a question.
Okay, well, just 1 second. You think about that. Natural Canadian is saying, isn't there supposed to be a big selling dump on Bitcoin on July 18th? Better buying position if true. So maybe if Len knows something about that and he's still here, he can.
That's
Well,
when,
Grayscale's
that's when all that
Grayscale,
stuff unlocks the stuff. Yeah,
That's what I was just going to ask. Yeah. So sorry. What are our prediction? Well, and for any of you guys here, I'm not a Bitcoiner like Len, but what do you guys see coming that day with Grayscale unlocking a bajillion Bitcoin?
I don't think they'll sell.
Coffee and a bagel sandwich.
Oh, geez. And Len saying it's the date that the news of Michael Saylor and Elon Musk being the same person is coming out.
I knew it all along.
This is why we need to all be NFTs so that we can prove that we are the authentic one.
Which is the real Musk.
That's right. Anyways, a lot of people saying Omi is definitely a 5-year hold for me. That was Nelson. So it wouldn't be Crypto Night in Canada if we didn't talk about ETH 2.0. I know, I think I pushed the wrong spot here. Crow was asking about ETH 2.0.
Haas did a good video about that earlier.
Yeah, so EIP 1559 is the update for ETH. It's going to be a big deal. I don't understand the miner impact because I know ETH 2.0 is going to bring a dramatic change to the miners. Now, with ETH 2.0, there's a number of things with that specific, like you can currently stake your ETH, but it's vested until ETH 2.0 comes out. But we have no date timeline on ETH 2.0 itself. EIP 1559 is going to be the big update in the near future. That's at least going to move the price a bit. But I think really, like if you look at the chart right now, I would say right now ETH is being supported by that news. I would say that if you're banking on ETH to pump on August 4th, when that is expected to go live, and again, might not happen on the 4th. It depends on when that block is mined. So it could happen a day later. It could happen anytime on the 4th, essentially. But I wouldn't expect anything other than volatility on that day, and it could go up or down. That's trading on the news, and I don't do that. When it comes down to long-term holds, like I'm not buying Ethereum right now, but I was buying Ethereum back when it was below 2K, and I'd probably say any Ethereum below 2K is probably a good price. Even now is probably a good price, but the update's going to do a lot more. You're going to be able to play a little bit more with DeFi on Uniswap and a lot of those protocols, so it's going to bring a lot of value into those systems as well. It might drain a little bit from things like the BSC and maybe PokeSwap, maybe even Matic, even though that's a layer 2. But I highly doubt that it's going to dramatically hit the DeFi market. If anything, it's going to create a bigger boom. And then once ETH 2.0 comes out, that's going to be, increasing speeds, staking, a ton of new features on ETH, and it's going to bring scarcity to the network as well. But I think EIP 1559 also kind of brings some scarcity, but I'm not sure to which degree compared to ETH 2.0.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting times.
I entirely got automatic, and I'm just sticking with the mainstays for me. I'm not even, if I kind of like what Haas and Mark, and I mean, all you guys, you guys all trade this way, but with crypto, I'm just getting used to the space, really. I mean, I learn more from you guys than I do on my own because I want to hear from someone who's actually done it and yada, yada, yada. But I had to get out of the projects that I don't know a friggin' thing about. So Matic, as much as people are on top of it, like, done. So whatever, just transferred it back to Bitcoin. And now my stupid little mining rig is just going to stack sats forever and into eternity. And the way that I look at it right now is if you look at the income this little thing is making right now, nothing. Well, very little, it seems. But, it would have been making quite a bit a month or 2 months ago when it was at 60 grand. And if it goes up, like it would be like I can pay for this laptop in 4 months if this gets to 100, not even 3.5 months if this gets to 100 grand Bitcoin. And it's like, so I don't know. I'm just going to keep doing that. I'm out of Matic though. I'm going to stick with Doge because it's hilarious and I love it. I'm going to stick with XRP.
Thought you were going to move over to Sheeb.
Hell no. I'm not moving to Sheeb.
What do you mean?
No.
I'll give you some. I'll give you some news on sheep. They're going to come out with their own blockchain called.
Yes, it's going to go to the moon.
No, they're coming out with their own blockchain called Shibarium, and Shiba Coin's actually going to be used as the gas token on the network.
Nice.
They're making
When's
moves.
that supposed to happen?
I don't know. They didn't give a date, but that's what they're working on.
It's coming out after EIP 1559.
Yeah, it's coming soon. It's going through the,
Soon, TM.
It's going through that security check that their decks had to go through.
Oh, well, you know,
It'll be soon.
and I have to really thank you for those updates, because now that I know I'm actually a sheep holder, I would like to know these things now.
Oh God,
I feel dirty.
So I know. Listen, Gus wanted to put it on a more serious note. Apparently, you can marinate watermelon in soy sauce and make sushi out of it. Just thought everyone needed to know.
What did he have? A shot of AstraZeneca?
He obviously didn't try the mustard technique, so this is
for everyone in Ontario, congrats. You guys are opening up in by Friday.
Yeah.
No,
The worst feeling in the world, and no, we're not. The worst feeling in the world is leaving Alberta as the mask mandate is coming up and going into Ontario.
Good but you're in phase 3 on Friday, right?
No, everywhere but KW. Kitchener-Waterloo.
I can't even go to the gym. It's terrible.
In phase 3, you will.
Yeah, thank
you
God.
can, Haas. You'll be into phase 3. It's only KW that's in phase 2.
Yeah. That's right.
Well, congrats to everyone outside of that place. Well, anyway, good luck. But
and now it's illegal to wear a mask soon in a bank again.
Okay.
There's a dad joke. It's illegal to wear masks again in the bank. Oh my goodness. Okay, so listen, all of you on the call here, you need to help Tim out a little bit. Everybody will, but Ryan, because Ryan and Tim have a little bet going on that Tim can't remember to shake for 50 days.
Have you not been checking out? Oh, I guess I'm posting it to Crypto Night in Canada.
So here was the thing. So here's the wager. Tim's got to shake it every day and post it in the Crypto Night in Canada group or in Ryan's group someplace that he's done it to prove that he's done it. And if he can do it for 50 days, Ryan's given $100 to charity of our choice, and if he doesn't do it, Tim's got to give $100, and I think Ryan's chosen the Humane Society of Calgary or something.
Yeah, we'll be helping pets, but you miss one day, dude, you're done. $100 for the dog, simple as that.
I'm not even kidding you. Every day I say to him, I'm afraid to ask, did you shake yesterday? Because I won't do it. I'm trying not to.
Yeah, I've been
cheating there,
Nancy.
You can't be
cheating. Right? It's been brutal.
I'm happy shaking it. It's stupid low amount of money right now, but it's I'm getting almost 1,000 sats, just 2 seconds, shake it every day. I got 100 and almost 40 days now. I'm killing it. So if you can't do 50, then the dogs and cats are getting a bunch of money. Done.
Yeah, the Canadian Bitcoiners say that they're a great charity.
Are you registered as a charity just for tax implications?
It'll be their name, so
That's
it'll help
right.
them out.
Well, you know what? I think that's good. If we were to do it, we should send $100 worth of Bitcoin someplace. Then they will. And if they hold it,
you need to send $100 of altcoin to Canadian Bitcoiners here. Give them
oh my gosh! Yes, we should. Oh, we'll send $100 to Len and Joey and see how they make out with that. Oh. Oh boy. And Verena says she got to 125 days and forgot to shake. Oh my gosh. I know, it's so hard.
It's because she sniffed.
And Scott DeRosa said it's super easy to shake your phone for sats. Apparently it's super easy. Do you shake every day, Haas?
I've missed all kinds of streaks. So I missed one streak. Here's a story about the streak that I missed on the trip to Alberta.
There's a story. There's always a story.
There is.
Give me the berries.
Well, so I drove 13 hours one day, and it was like a hard drive. Whatever. I get to the spot that I was going to be for that night, and I checked the time, and I realized that I'm a time zone behind, and it's like 11 o'clock at night. I'm like, oh, like, am I gonna make it, right? Because I jumped time zones. I shook it, and of course it was a new day, and I'm like, no.
Why didn't you go backwards an hour? Why didn't you just drive back an hour and go back into the other time zone?
But I would have still been in the new day. I would have had to keep going to Vancouver. You know what I mean? But
this is a random question.
You were going that way anyway. What was your problem?
This is a random question. Hawes, I've been meaning to ask because I've crossed Canada probably 15 times in a vehicle now, but never once slept in my vehicle. Can I ask you honestly, was it like, would you do it another way and go a hotel or motel or whatever? Or like,
no.
can you? No,
so maybe I'm crazy, okay, but like here's the thing: like I have a.
Well, how tall are you actually?
I'm like 6 foot. I'm just under 6 foot, like
okay.
5'11".
So you're still pretty tall.
I'm pretty tall. But I have a GMC Terrain. Okay. 2018, nothing special. I literally put the seats down and put a mattress in the back, and I had like a laptop and a camping generator with me. And I drove the entire way. I stopped at campsites. I stopped at Walmarts. It was great, actually. I was even camping in the mountains with my SUV. The whole thing was fantastic, but it was like sleeping in my own bed, sort of. I mean, like, you know,
I got a mattress.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Hawes, were you by yourself?
Yeah, I was by myself. I went up camping all by myself. It was actually a really great road trip. Yeah, it's the first time I've ever done something like that, and I just kind of wanted to cross that off my list. You know what I mean? So
that's amazing. Well, that's really courageous. All these people say the first thing they do is wake and shake.
I wish I could get into that routine. I think that's what I need to do. Wake and shake. That's it. Okay.
Wake and shake.
Yeah.
Went to Tim Hortons and they said, "Would that be a bacon shake?" So it was like,
God.
Manitoba was blowing me around. It's so flat. The wind is crazy there.
Riley Mack said it was so flat in Manitoba, he saw Ryan drive through the entire province. Please,
That's about right.
And Cyberhawk, a whole lot of shaking going on. Oh man, we get a little punchy at this time of the night. Anyways, Cyberhawk, Manitoba to Alberta is burn rubber to make up for lost time.
Exactly.
Very true.
Oh man,
Ontario's another level.
Yeah, I know.
Unreal.
Mark Lazarek, do you shake for Satoshis? Do you have like Shakepay?
I do not shake for Satoshis. I'm not interested in shaking for Satoshis. I'm good with buying them when they go lower.
Satoshi's just a guy in the corner of the room. We all go in there and shake for him, and we're all.
Well, you know, you shake for Satoshis. There you go. That's borderline a dad joke, Ryan. Honestly.
Yeah, wow. There's so many levels that could go wrong there.
I know it is borderline many. And I know you do, Ken, right?
Yep. Every morning I get up.
I feel like
and I make my coffee.
Of course, Ken shakes every morning. Yeah.
He makes his coffee and he shakes.
Yeah. Relieve that stress, right? You get that dopamine release every time you. Yeah, exactly. Are we still talking about Shakepay?
Yeah. Well, oh my goodness. Well, this has been a really, really fun conversation. And Mark, I'm hoping you come back and join us again. I know I had to cajole him for months and months and months to come on, and because he and I will talk about it at work. We'll have some serious conversations about work things, and then all of a sudden it goes. So, anyways, on crypto front.
Do you have a YouTube channel, Mark?
We don't have a YouTube channel. We're in the process of putting one together. Like I said, for Nickel and Dime Productions, it'll be coming out shortly. And get ready for the NFL and NCAA season. We're gonna turn your crypto investments into more money when we win on Saturday and Sunday, and then reinvest it into some crypto and really see where it goes. So yeah, it'll be fun.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's good. And so maybe Ryan, you could go on their channel as a guest.
Absolutely. We'd love to have HiRye on their channel.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I don't know, Haz, do you know anything about sports? Are you a sports guy?
I'm not as sports fluent. I mean, like I have a couple of like specific things that I'm into because I'm a fanboy. Like Martin Brodeur, the best goalie in the league, but I don't really care to watch like the Toronto Maple Leafs or anything else. You know, football is kind of a different game. I like watching the big games, but I don't really follow it year round. So I'm not.
I got to tell my ultimate sports story. Okay, I'm not a sports guy. I used to play rugby in school, but look at me. I got tossed around like a rag doll. But it was fun as hell. But anyway, my sports story, football. It was a Super Bowl with, I think, Nick Foles of the Eagles when they were playing. And when he had that trick play at the end of the game, me and my mom, first time ever, we put a bet down on a football game. And it was for the underdogs, the Eagles, to win by over 8 points. Okay, we're like last minute of the game. This guy pulls the trick play of trick plays. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, it was mind-blowing. Anyway, me and my mom tanked out a few, or I think it was like... I think we each walked away with like $2,100. It was friggin' sweet. But anyway, with me, it's sports and gambling. They're tied. That's it. They're entirely tied.
They kind of go hand in hand, right?
Yeah. It's a hot dog without mustard, right? So
It's like watermelon without mustard, really.
gross.
Ken, do you watch a lot of sports? Are you a sports nut?
No,
These guys are too busy watching their crypto.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. I live,
times a day.
sleep, and eat this stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that's the whole thing. We got into crypto and we love sports and whatnot. So my buddy Mark and I decided, we should do this. And when we looked at, how we've been over the last few years with picks and, sitting at 68 point something percent accuracy on picks against the spread, I said, wouldn't it be fun to take some of that money and then invest it in crypto as we go along? And then at the end of the year, say, here was the winnings. Here's what got invested in crypto. Here's where it accelerated and went up. And this is what we wound up at, and see if people want to come along for the ride with us. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, see, there's a whole new angle. It's another side hustle.
That's right. We're not making baskets. We're making bets.
That's it.
Nice. Love it.
Anyways, it was great, everybody. Thank you so much for your time again tonight. And we look forward to seeing you next week on Crypto Night in Canada. So thanks, Haas. We'll see you on Saturdays on your live show.
For everyone in this crew who does want to join on Sunday, the reason I'm throwing out the offer is because on Sunday, obviously, I want to kind of track and see. Haas is saying he doesn't think anything's going to happen. I still want to see the July 18th result at Grayscale. If anyone does want to feel optional to come on, you guys can feel free. But Sunday night for that too on the midterm kind of crypto chat on Sunday.
Yeah, on Ryan's channel, we talk every Sunday night. It's the crypto show about nothing and about everything. And I know we had a couple comments tonight about people thinking that we were like the Seinfeld here. That's really over on Ryan's channel. We do the Seinfeld crypto conversation.
What's nice though is that both channels end up going. Listen, every channel starts with half hour, 40 minutes of crypto, and then somehow the inflation talk always leads into other stuff, Nancy. And now we're talking gambling and Pokemon and football, and it always it happens every time. Doesn't matter the channel. Oh, it happens.
Oh, you guys are funny. Well, yeah, and you can go and check Ryan out on the HiRye channel. And as always, Ken, thank you so much for your time tonight. And of course, I think I said Haas's channel, Haas Hodls, yep. And he's got great technical analysis, and we really rely on him Saturdays for that. And Saturdays at 11 for his live. And of course, if Len and Joey are still around and watching, then Len and Joey, the great Canadian